You are listening to the Time for Hemp Global Broadcasting Network. Please share us with your friends.
Look at all that money, yeah, the money that they've spent. Take another look and take some time for hemp. Don't cut trees for paper, 'cause it hurts the environment. Stop deforestation, yeah, it's time for hemp. Well, an acre of hemp makes 20 barrels of oil. No need for pesticides to poison all our soil. People got no food, they got no clothes, they got no rent. Well, it's time for hemp. Throughout Earth's history, hemp has been used, no mystery. Hemp was legal to pay your taxes for more than a century. Check your faxes. Founding fathers make sense to me. It's time to grow hemp legally. Think of all its uses. It's money that's well spent. Right now, no excuses. It's time for hemp. Sustainable green industry. That's our intent. A better place this world will be. It's time for hemp. Fuel and food and clothes and soap, housing, cars, yeah, cars, no joke. Henry Ford built a car of hemp. It's time for us to do it again. People be employed with balanced farming as it's meant. Right now it's time for hemp. Hemp is a true necessity for the wealth and protection of this country. Thomas Jefferson spoke those words. He knew the value of these herds. It's time to lift the hemp ban. It's time to make a strong stand. Yes, we can, I know we can. But we can make a difference, yes we can. Just like birds of a feather, we can work together and lift the hemp ban. Look at all that money, yeah, the money that they've spent. Take another look and take some time for hemp. Don't cut trees for paper, 'cause it hurts the environment. Stop deforestation, yeah, it's time for hemp.
Thank you for taking Time for Hemp. I'm your host, Casper Leitch. We have a very special show today. I got some great joint hosts on the big broadcast. We got a very special guest, and we got some fantastic music that I cannot wait to share with you. I don't know, some of you may know that Time for Hemp has been picked up by Citizen Green TV. You can find Citizen Green TV at citizengreen.tv, and you can also find them on Apple TV. You can also find them on your Roku TVs through the Roku TV app. And of course, they're on Google Play, Woohoo, and Fire TV on Amazon, and they are growing. So you can now watch Time for Hemp on your TV sets and share us with your friends. And on that big broadcast, on our video presentation of Time for Hemp, I am blessed to have two fantastic joint hosts on the broadcast. The first one that I bring to your attention is Byrne. He wrote a book that is really good read. I tell you, if you're interested in the history of the cannabis hemp movement and how it is that we ended up where we're at now, you want to get a copy of his book called For Country and Cannabis. And then we've got a good-hearted individual from Canada who is very busy promoting the end of cannabis prohibition in his country through the Pace Radio Network. And you can find that at pace-online.ca. And there's lots of great content there that is all about ending cannabis prohibition. And anyway, like I said, we've got a very special guest today, which is why my joint host wanted to be part of the program. And she is from Texas. And I thought that would be a great opportunity to also bring on a friend of mine from Texas. Many of you know him as Mad Dabber 710. He's also very highly involved, get it, highly involved at KZSM. He is one of the people who makes the magic at the station, Justin James Bridges. And he's joining in today as one of the joint hosts. Don't forget, anytime you hear the word joint on the big broadcast, we want you to hit your pipes, your bongs, your vaporizers, and take time for hemp. And as I said, we do have a very special guest on the program today. She is a district attorney in West Texas. Her name is Sarah Stogner. Sarah recently gained national attention for publicly opposing the THC bans in Texas. And she was featured in Newsweek magazine and the New York Times because she had the audacity to smoke a joint on TikTok. Oh my gosh, no less, on TikTok. Oh, jeepers. Well, so after reading about that, I thought to myself, this would be a perfect individual to have on the show and have a great joint chat that my audience can jointly listen into and then jointly share with their friends. Our opening music was done by the Illusions of Music. They are the house band. And before we get to our joint chat with all of our joint hosts here on the big broadcast, I'm going to share with you one of the groovy tunes by the Illusions of Music called Marching Orders here at Time for Hemp.
Sound off 1, 2. What we supposed to do? Lock 'em up in cells while the system fails. System's got me stressed. Put it to the test. March around the block while my people locked. Left, right, left, right. Something ain't right. Left, right, left, right. We gotta fight. Forward march to nowhere. Hey, round and round we go. Hey, forward march to nowhere. Ain't got nothing to show. Forward march to nowhere. Hey, ever real we go. Hey, forward march to nowhere. Ain't got nothing to show. Cell block full again. Locking up more friends. Non-violent crimes. Doing hard time. Politicians say this the only way, but the streets ain't clean, just more folks in green. Left, right, something ain't right. Left, right, we gotta fight. Forward march to nowhere. Hey, round and round we go. Hey, forward march to nowhere. Ain't got that tape to show. Forward march to nowhere. Hey, money on the go. Hey, forward march to nowhere. Ain't got nothing to show. ain't doing no good. Filling prison yards, playing prison guards. Money down the drain, people feel the pain. Time to end this fight, make this wrong turn right. Left, right, stupid right. Left, right, forgot to mind. Left, right, something ain't right. Left, right, one last fight for a march to nowhere. Hey, round and round we go. Hey, for a march to nowhere. Hey, ain't got nothing to show for a march to nowhere. Hey, round and round we go. Hey, for a march to nowhere. Ain't got nothing to show. Sound off, march to nowhere. Sound off, got nowhere. Sound off, march to nowhere. Till we change the rules.
Thank you for tuning in to the big broadcast today. I am your host, Casper Leitch. I got some joint guests on the big joint broadcast today. Kicking off today's joint show will be Al Byrne. Hey, Al Byrne, how you doing today?
I'm doing very well, thank you, Casper. I hope you are the same.
I am, and let people know about your groovy book here.
It's 360 pages. It's a history of how medical cannabis came to be in the United States. It covers a lot of what we're going to talk about today, but I'll just let that go. Let me introduce my joint host up in Canada, Ontario, Canada, Al Graham.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Let people know about the PACE Network up there, Al.
Oh, the PACE Network, people advocating cannabis education. You can find us at paceradio.net. We cover not only cannabis, but we also cover psychedelics, and we have programming that is released on a daily basis.
And we also have on the big joint broadcast today a very special joint host from Texas. He's also part of the Time for Hemp family here, and that is Justice James Bridges, also known as Mad Dabber 710.
How y'all doing today?
Mad Dabber's got a website you should go to and check out some of his music. All right, give it a shout out, Mad Dabber.
maddabber710.com, also jjbmusic.com. And you can also check us out. You can catch Time for Hemp every Wednesday and Thursday here in San Marcos, Texas on kzsm.org, or if you're here locally, 104.1 on your FM dial.
Yeah, right. And make it a point to tune in and listen to us as you're driving around in your car and let the world know how important it is to take Time for Hemp. Today, we are jointly sitting down to have a joint chat with a amazing DA from Texas. She is a legal maverick who is shaking up the system from the inside. She is known for her unfiltered honesty. And she's a fierce, independent individual. She's been making waves, calling out people who've been misusing the laws in Texas, doing prosecution and arrests selectively. And she's also a little fed up with politicians who are getting lots of lobby money. And anytime she's running for office in your area, cast the vote for Sarah Stogner. Sarah, that's a long introduction, but really you are an amazing individual. I want to ask you right off, how did you get involved in cannabis activism?
Oh, man. I guess it probably all started when I got in trouble my senior year of high school after smoking pot on the beach at spring break. And my dad telling me, kid, you get cancer. I'll sell everything I own to see if you can get better. But you get arrested for some dumb stuff, you're on your own, And so I think that people ask me, what's it like being DA? And I've only been DA since January 1st. I had no criminal law experience, right? I was an oil and gas attorney. And I had been sitting through actually a training all morning about child rape. And that's what got me to run, is the last guy let pedophiles walk. And I had a rough day, and I was looking forward to coming home and imbibing a little bit. And I thought, at the same time, I saw some ridiculousness about current Texas legislation that's pending in a second special session now. And I kind of just said, like, I'm going to go home and smoke weed. And so I planned it. And I thought, okay, I'll publicize this. And I'm good at getting organic media attention, right? And I think that it shouldn't take somebody that looks like me that has my privilege and power to be able to do this, right? And so I think those of us that have that privilege need to take a stand.
So, Sarah, you came from being a commercial lawyer, oil and gas, into being a criminal type person. I mean, that's a hell of a step. What was that about?
I was asked to run. So I actually originally ran for office in 2022 for the Railroad Commission, which regulates oil and gas in the state of Texas. They don't regulate railroads anymore. It's a name from a bygone era when they used to regulate both railroads and oil and gas. And they said, hey, we need a new DA. And there was actually a children's detention facility here where the guards were sodomizing children that were in their custody. And they went unprosecuted. And so I had been kind of on a mission to call attention to oil and gas wells and some of the problems we're seeing with the overinjection of produced water out here in the middle of the Permian Basin. And I joke that the only thing that could get me off of my mission for zombie wells, as we call them, was raping children. So it's like, as a mom, I have a 10-year-old daughter, and I didn't realize how rampant it was until I really took office. But I've got about 40,000 people in my jurisdiction, and I currently have about, 45 sexual assault of minor cases pending right now.
Listen, I got to ask, you're an attorney general of Texas, not but one of them. And I understand you're in West Texas. I know as an attorney general, you have quite a bit of authority to decide in your jurisdiction what is a crime and what isn't. No, not what a crime is, but whether it's going to be taken to court. I had a friend of mine a long time ago, acquaintance, who was in a very big city in Nebraska. He was the attorney general. And I got talking to him once, and I said, as your attorney general, what'd you do about cannabis cases? He said, we didn't have any. And I said, why didn't we have any? He said, because the cops kept bringing me arrests, and I kept telling them to go away. We're not going to do this. So how do you feel about that kind of an approach?
Yeah, so that's as they call us the district attorney, and so I have primary jurisdiction over felony cases. The local county attorneys, each county will have its own county attorney, and they have jurisdiction over misdemeanors. So basic, simple possession is a misdemeanor in Texas, right? And so what ends up functionally happening is we still have arrests, right? If you look at the stats, I think it was 25,000 arrests for the last year available, 2022, 2023, something like that. Somebody fact check me on this, but that's my understanding. And I would say there's probably, how many of those actually went to grand jury, actually went and were prosecuted? None, right? Like, I think there's 200 people currently incarcerated in TDCJ, which is our state prison system, for cannabis crimes. And those are people that were carrying hundreds of pounds, right? Practically speaking. And so what we've got is this soft legalization that really means people that look like us and have our type of privilege can do whatever the hell we want. And people who don't necessarily look like us and have our type of privilege can't. And I mean, in Dallas this week, they arrested a black rapper for possession of marijuana because they're bullies and they can. And I don't think that will ever be prosecuted. I doubt that the county attorney in Dallas, I think they have a standing no prosecution local ordinance, in fact. And yeah, it's weaponization of law enforcement, selective weaponization, which is very un-American.
So what you're saying is there's laws in Texas that are criminal, felony, misdemeanor, that are just, other than the police departments, the sheriffs, pretty much ignored by the county attorneys and district attorneys like yourself?
Yeah, I'll tell you personally. So vape pens, right? If you've got a 1 gram THC vape pen, that is a felony in Texas. If it's not Delta 8 or Delta 9, that's hemp derived. If it's from New Mexico, Colorado, California, where they all come in from, right? That is a felony conviction. Our labs, our state labs, don't have a good test to be able to tell if something is legal hemp or illegal marijuana. And it's not that these tests don't exist, it's that our laws are so skewed. And since 2019, we've effectively opened this loophole that the smell no longer tells you, right, if it's legal or illegal. I don't think that gives you probable cause anymore to search. But we've been doing it, and no one wants to stand up and say, hey, this is wrong and we shouldn't be doing this. And so that's why I am. And I'm hoping that others will join the cause. You know, it's really frustrating. We've got people like Joe Rogan out there that live in this state that make millions of dollars while they can freely smoke it and do whatever they want. And people are still going and getting jailed for it.
Do you know that veterans in the United States military can go to the Veterans Health Administration using cannabis as a medicine and everything is fine? In July 2010, the Veterans Health Administration issued a directive. They've actually put out two, but they issued a directive, and I'm shorthanded here, but what they said is cannabis is a medicine, and it should be treated as such by all VA personnel, and any vet that comes in and gets treated, wants treatment, and uses cannabis, we're going to take them in, we're going to love them, and we're going to write down the good things about what the cannabis does for them. So when somebody like your lieutenant governor or whoever the hell is in your legislature starts talking about the medical uses of cannabis, no disrespect, ma'am, but they're lawyers or they're cops. They don't have a scintilla of education about medical uses of cannabis. So what they're talking about in Texas, removing THC from cannabis, they're taking the medicine out of the veteran's hand. And
they've got something called Teacup, which is Texas Compassionate Use Program. That's just a money grab for some of their friends, right?
Exactly. And so, but I'm saying, Texans, if you're listening to this, pay attention. If you take THC out of the cannabis that veterans in Texas can use, you are killing some of them. And it sucks, Texas. And this lady is trying to tell you it sucks. So you pay attention to her. Excuse me, ma'am, but I had to get that out.
Well, my case made it to where if you're on probation, you can still consume while on probation if you're a medical cannabis patient. That was my case that set the precedence of that.
Nice.
I'm a police brutality survivor, and I spent over 3 years in a wheelchair, and I used cannabis to keep me out of the wheelchair. I was arrested for possession of my medicine when I had my Oregon medical card here in Texas. I was facing 20 years, but I refused to take a drug test before starting probation. I told him I'd go to trial, and we kept going back and forth. I had a great lawyer in Gonzales, Texas, and he basically told them that I wasn't going to take a drug test, and I refused because I'm a medical cannabis patient, and the doctor prescribed it for me. And they said that it actually changed the probation order. So now the probation order reads that you're.
I'm intimately familiar. Yep. Unless it's no marijuana unless
prescribed by a doctor in the state which you reside. That was my case that set that in there.
Nice.
So,
but
I'm a teacup patient now, but I can tell you as a patient, like I think I have one of the highest recommendations, like one of the highest prescriptions in the state of Texas. I'm prescribed 1,000 milligrams a day. But
that's all under threat. See, that's the point here that Sarah's bringing forward. The present situation in Texas is threatening all of that.
All of it,
including your problem.
Absolutely.
If you take THC out of cannabis, it's not cannabis.
Right, exactly. When you start splitting up all the compounds, then you have a situation where you're not getting the full benefits of the plant. You know, you have the entourage effect when you consume everything together, and all the cannabinoids work with your endocannabinoid system. Mm-hmm. You are taking out parts of those and just putting in synthesized cannabinoids, or just allowing certain, because what they're going to have to do is they're going to have to use chemicals to split these plants up, to pull out all these different cannabinoids and to isolate all the different compounds. And then at that point, you're not consuming the same medicine that you would be if you were consuming the full plant medicine, or even on some of the extractions that are done correctly, you know, that get you a higher potency. You know, it's crazy to me, and how expensive it is through the Teacup program. Like if they take away the hemp program, it's now a bunch of patients are out of reach. Like a lot of patients won't be able to access their medicine, and their prices are going to go up exponentially. And that's absurd to treat patients like that.
Well, and my thing is like it's a plant. People should be able to grow it in their yard.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
But there's no money in that, right?
Now, this THC ban, is this included in your medical program, or is this just recreation?
No, the THC ban doesn't include the teacup program.
Yeah, it depends on which iteration of the bill and all of this, but I'll say that the way that it was before, where there was a carve out for teacup, but a lot of people aren't able to access teacup. So, right. So you've got a lot of people who aren't officially signed up for teacup that don't
have access because there's not enough access points.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Like there's no providers out here where I am. If you're in the city,
Right.
You've got more options, but.
So when you come up and speak up publicly about cannabis being legalized and hemp being groovy, how does that affect you at the polls? Are you facing hassle from the police departments, the other lawyers in your town, the press?
No, I mean, I called up people before I did this and told them I was going to do it. I didn't call our local sheriff. I didn't want to put him in an awkward position of having to know, but our district judge knew, the Rangers knew, everyone knew, and constituents know. And I haven't had anyone come up to me and say, "You're dumb. That's stupid. I don't like that." I mean, everyone's been very supportive.
One of the headlines about you stated that you might end up in jail for smoking cannabis on TikTok.
I mean, I guess you got a sensational headline sell. It is I admitted to committing a misdemeanor, right? Technically, yes, I could be arrested. Technically, I could be arrested for crossing state lines with it because I admitted to crossing state lines with it.
Why did you say, at this point in my life, I have to go national? You knew to go national.
Yeah, I think I chose this moment because I saw the lieutenant governor of Texas really just spreading false information and really having the wrong argument. And I hate that Donald Trump is saying that it needs to be rescheduled. No, it needs to be descheduled. And I thought, if not now, when? If not me, who? Kind of thing. So
yeah, well, good for you. Thank you. As Casper said earlier, that's it's really nice. I've in my years doing this, is lots of people have said face to face, "Al, I'm with you. I support you," and I said, "Come public with me." Oh, well, wait a minute. That's a different thing. I don't know if I really want to go there, Al. So I'm sorry. Go ahead, Sarah.
Well, no, I was going to say, and I'm sure Justin's been laughing about Charles Perry, one of our senators, was in one of the hearings and said that someone was tripping for 3 days on some of marijuana, and it's like reefer madness, right? And so then
right. 100%.
I actually posted on social media. I was like, where have you been hiding this dank that gets you tripping for 3 days?
For 3 days, for real. I'll take some.
Well,
Yeah,
for the folks
it's
that don't
absurd.
know, again, we got audiences here that are not naive to all this. The cannabis use generally lasts in the average human being about 3 to 4 hours. And that doesn't mean that they're tripping, they're doing something weird. They're actually just relaxing. They're lowering their anxiety rate. They're increasing the benefits from their endocannabinoid system. Here's another thing that's going to come up in Texas, and I want to bring it up because somebody else will, and they won't know the answer, and I do. Driving. Can you drive on cannabis? Yeah. There is 15, 14 studies worldwide, including in the United States, of cannabis and driving. What happens? Now, I want to give you one key word. The word here is experienced. Experienced drivers on cannabis drive safer than people that are sober. Every study done in every country, including America, is that if somebody is an experienced driver, they will not have a problem driving. If you look at states like Colorado, Oregon, where cannabis has been legal for quite a while, DUIs are down, accidents are down. There is just less damage with automobiles and trucks because Why? Because they're experienced and they are more focused than even sober drivers.
Well,
So
I
in
think
Texas, that'll come up.
I think Sarah has a good insight on that too, because I'm sure that she and the police officers in her area deal with that topic all the time, right, Sarah?
Yeah. So if I would say that the biggest thing that we see is alcohol, right? And people don't understand that even if you are a regular alcohol user, your body physically at 0.04 blood alcohol content, your eyes change, and it's called nystagmus. And it's the reason that driving under the influence of alcohol is uniquely dangerous. It's the reason why we train officers and really concentrate efforts on alcohol, because it doesn't matter. You can be a professional drunk, right? 18 beers every day. You seem fine. You talk fine. You walk fine, but your eyeballs are not fine. And it's like windshield wipers on a dry windshield, right? They hiccup, they hitch. And so your eyeballs do that when you've had drinks, and it's biological and physiological, and you can't fight it. And it makes driving under the influence of alcohol uniquely dangerous for those that get behind the wheel.
What do your cops and your sheriffs think about driving with cannabis people?
I think most of the time, let's say this, I don't have any pending DUI cases driving under the influence for cannabis. If somebody's getting pulled over and they're smelling something, right, then they'll do a search. And I think that it shouldn't be necessarily PC anymore. I don't think it's necessarily probable cause, because you can't tell if it's hemp or marijuana, as they like to call it, right?
Yeah,
Doesn't State versus Steelman, isn't that case law that got rid of that, being able to use the smell of cannabis for search and seizure?
Yeah,
I don't know. I need
so.
to look that one up, Justin. I'm still learning, right? I mean, it's so not an issue in my jurisdiction, where as long as you're not driving around, like we worry about the sand haulers that are high on meth and up for 3 days.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, just is correct. The law court has ruled that smell is no longer a justification, and a lot of it was just because it's what you said. How do you know it's not, first of all, illegal? There's a lot of legal patients, and how do you know it's not hemp? So it makes no sense anymore.
Well, here's one thing I do know, Justin and Sarah. I don't understand how your politicians who love money, who love tax dollars, and who want to preach about jobs in their backyard are standing against hemp. It makes no sense. They are destroying businesses on every level, whether it be farming, whether it be store owners, whether it be product producers. Don't they understand that they're driving businesses underground and they're destroying the economy?
The thing that Dan Patrick understands is he's getting $400,000 last year from the alcohol industry. That's what he understands. So let's be honest. Ken Paxton, Dan Patrick, they're all paid for by the alcohol industry and by the pharmaceutical companies, and they get a lot of money from big interests to vote the way they do. That's why Dan Patrick is saying that he won't even allow anything but a THC ban to go to vote.
Really?
Yeah.
So he wants to make federally legal hemp illegal in Texas. That's what they're trying to do. And the thing that they don't understand, and I don't know if they understand it or not, but all they're doing is taking money out of our economy, because Texans are still going to consume cannabis. They're still going to consume hemp. They're just going to pay for it and get it shipped in, because Texas doesn't have the right to stop interstate commerce, because that's federal. That's above the state. That's above the state of Texas. So they can't stop the interstate commerce. So people can still go online and order their hemp products, have them delivered right to their door, and there's nothing that the state can do about it.
Well, Sarah, are you having problems trying to figure out what type of laws to enforce and what the laws are and what they mean? And I mean, the way they're changing and all, they don't make. Are you able to follow what they're doing?
No, not right. On any given day, who knows, right? But I think big picture, my takeaway is that the Senate is wanting a total ban. In the House, you've got a lot more different people that are involved, and at least the hemp lobby has some advocates in the House that are trying to salvage these people that have been in business for years, right? I mean, you're talking about tens of thousands of jobs, millions of dollars in
Absolutely.
revenue. I think it would probably be an unconstitutional taking at this point.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I think that, and again, this is a silly argument. Like, it should be decriminalized, it should be legalized, it should be, bottom line.
Descheduled.
Yeah, descheduled.
What about access wise? I don't know how your laws are now in Texas, as far as access, but in a legalized world, what would you be looking at as far as access for people?
Yeah, I mean, I tell people I envision there to be a nice little cannabis section at the grocery store, at HEB's, our Texas grocery store, right? And it's like, you've got alcohol, and why can't I have a flower section? And then if you've got some sort of a cream for grandma, it's near the arthritis medicine. And I don't know why it can't just be incorporated into our everyday lives.
This might seem off the point, but I don't think it is. Would this THC ban be also for animal feed?
Yes.
At
the current moment, you can't.
Hemp.
Go ahead.
Hemp lotion, right? Like, it's physically impossible to remove all THC. So a total ban would make any sort of a hemp. It's silly. It's a silly law.
Does Texas understand that 30 different nations in the world have cannabis in their pharmacopoeia? For us, it's the federal thing is against the law anyway. If you look at the U.S. law, it says that if something is legal in the United States medically, like cannabis, in any state, then the federal law has to reflect that legality, and that's been going on for 40 years. So this whole law thing that these cops and lawyers that, again, I'm sorry, ma'am, but these cops and lawyers that decide what we as human males and females, mature men and women, can put in our bodies in private.
The thing is, man, I'm telling you, like, the problem that we have here is that you have the good old boy system that's been a thing for so long that it disenfranchised a lot of the voters. And so for a while, especially with like when Rick Perry got voted into governorship, I believe he got voted in with something like 9% of the population vote, because a lot of people just didn't turn out to vote. And so that's the issue that you have. People have been so disenfranchised that they stop voting.
Sarah, we're down to the last few minutes. Is there anything you want to give a shout out to, you want to say or speak about?
Oh, man, I think I tell people squeaky wheel gets the grease, right? And so call your legislatures, email them. I think Greg Abbott vetoed during the regular session because 120,000 people sent letters, and they hand delivered them, and they showed up and they said, stop ignoring us. And so I do think that the takeaway has to be that ordinary people with a little bit of common sense can't quit on the system, and you can't have the apathy take over. And we need people to run for office. We need people we live in a duopoly run by oligarchs, and donors are the customers, not the voters. So unless you're in the system, you can't play the game. And so we can't afford to sit out and just wait and let them totally destroy it before we get involved.
And if you're living in Sarah's district, get out and vote for this woman. Keep her in office until God calls her home. You need her. You need her. Justin, I love having you on the show. Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
You always bring joy, cheer, and a happy spirit. And why don't you let people know one more time about your music before we say so long, farewell, bye-bye?
Absolutely. You can check out the new, we just released a new LP or the EP, Living It Up, Justin James Bridges, the remastered version of Living It Up. It's available across all platforms. You can find me at jjbmusic.com. You can also find some of my cannabis music on maddabber710.com. And you can catch me every Sunday night on kzsm.org with Sundays Free with JJB.
Rock on. And speaking of radio content, Al Graham, one more time, let people know how they can listen to your content.
You can find us at paceradio.net, and we cover psychedelics as well as cannabis. And PACE stands for People Advocating Cannabis Education.
And Al Byrne, if I want to get a copy of this book called For Country and Cannabis, where do I find it?
Everywhere. Apple Books, Amazon Books, Thrift Books. They'll send it the ebook or the hard copy. It's 360 pages. It's worth every nickel. If you if you have a healthcare professional in your life, if you are a patient, you need that book. So a lot of the stuff I just brought up about diving and CBD, THC, the fact that lawyers and cops are running your medical program for you, it's all in that book. It explains how we got from nothing to where we are today, where 30 countries in the world have cannabis in their pharmacopoeia, and the United States does not. Please buy the book, spread it around. It's worth it. It's worth it. And Sarah, thank you. It was a pleasure to have you. It's a pleasure to we can be friends into the future and work together on. And I'm at your disposal if I can help you with some sort of background or information.
Thanks. I always love learning.
And I know, Sarah, Justin will be interested to have you be involved in Texas Hemp Stock. Isn't that going to be next year, Justin?
Yes, it will. We're going to be
All
probably moving it to a different day to make it a little bit cooler, but it will be happening again. We're looking probably just like Portland Hemp Stock used to be the weekend after Memorial Day. That's what we're looking at. Or Labor Day, I'm sorry, the weekend after Labor Day. So that's what we're looking at right now.
All right, so just don't put that on your calendar, Sarah. You're going to be busy that weekend. Justin's going to want you to be part of the show. And Sarah, seriously, I have been inspired by your work, and I am just honored to have had you on the show. And I really hope you come back sometime in the future. And Justin, we're going to kick off this next musical segment here on the big broadcast with a groovy tune that you've done as the Mad Dabber 710 called Mary Mary here at Time for Hemp.
I know this pretty little girl. She drives all the boys wild. Even better than that, she the ladies with a smile. And now a woman like that, she can please all she needs. Yeah, she'll even make time for you and for me. So come on. You wanna meet her? Her name?
They call her Mary Jane. That pretty little woman's got a hold of me. She'll ease your mind and soothe your pain. I'm talking about Mary, Mary, Mary Jane, yeah. Mary, Mary, come with me. I will warm the bed. See where we'll end up tonight. Mary, Mary, by my side.
Yeah, now that pretty little girl, she is taking her time. She made it all around the world. Now it's her time to shine. Yeah, she make paper, she make clothes, and she can even heal the sick. Yeah, she get you high as a kite, 'cause she's one bad bitch. Yeah, best guy's little gift. Her name?
They call her Mary Jane. That pretty little woman's got a hold of me. She'll ease your mind and soothe your pain. I'm talking about Mary, Mary, Mary Jane. Come on.
That's a girl we all know and love. You see, everybody wants a piece. Don't act like you don't. Her name? Well, I'ma tell you one more.
They call her Mary Jane Annie. That pretty little woman's got a hold of me. She'll ease your mind and soothe your pain. I'm talking about Mary Jane.
Would it surprise you to learn that the big liquor industry hires lobbyists to bribe politicians to keep cannabis illegal? For decades, liquor has been the king of social consumption. Beer ads flooded our screens, liquor brands sponsored our sports, and wine was the go-to for winding down. But now, there's a new contender in town, and it's green, it's growing, and it's legal in more places than ever. Cannabis isn't just a plant, it's a movement, and it's eating into the profits of the liquor industry like termites in a whiskey barrel. In states where cannabis is legal, beer sales have dropped, sometimes by as much as 15%. Spirits and wine are feeling the squeeze too. Millennials and Gen Z are choosing THC-infused seltzers, gummies, and vapes over hangovers and empty calories. And who can blame them? Cannabis offers relaxation without regret. No liver damage, no next day fog, just a smooth ride to the same destination. And big liquor? Well, they're panicking. They've seen the numbers. They've read the reports. They know that cannabis is not just competition, it's a disruption. The kind that doesn't just nibble at market shares, it rewrites the rules. So what do? They lobby. Behind closed doors, the liquor industry groups are pouring millions into political campaigns, pushing for restrictive cannabis laws, zoning barriers, and tax hikes. They fund studies that exaggerate cannabis risk while downplaying the risk of liquor. They whisper into the ears of lawmakers, hoping to stall the inevitable. But let's be real. If cannabis was treated fairly and regulated like the liquor industry, and taxed reasonably, and allowed to advertise, big booze would be in big trouble. And they know it. This isn't just about weed versus whiskey. It's about freedom versus fear. Progress versus profit protection. The liquor industry has a century-long monopoly on social intoxication. Now, they're trying to keep it by any means necessary. But here's the twist. The public isn't buying it anymore. Polls show that 74% of Americans believe cannabis is safer than liquor. CBD is being studied as a treatment for alcohol addiction. THC drinks are popping up in bars, lounges, and even yoga studios. The tide has turned and is not turning back. So when you hear politicians dragging their feet on cannabis reform, ask yourself, who's funding their hesitation? Because the truth is, cannabis isn't just healing bodies, it's threatening bottom lines. And the louder we get, the harder it becomes for lobbyists to drown us out. This is Casper Leitch with Time for Hemp, reminding you, the fight for legalization isn't just about access. It's about honesty. It's about calling out the industries that profit from our pain while trying to silence the plant that heals.
They sold us shots and empty cheers, built empires off our wasted years. But now the leaf is in the light, and big booze can't sleep tight at night.
They tax the herb, they block the ads, while beer still floods the college grads.
But we've got facts, we've got the crowd, and we're too hot to turn down now. Green tide rising, profits falling, lobbyists keep politicians stalling. The CBD's healing, THC's chilling, alcohol scared cause weed's fulfilling. No hangover, no regret, just a plant they ain't done outlawing yet. They built their throne on broken cheers, now they feel what truth appears. Without belief, they dim the facts, cause profits fade when freedom ends. Stalling. Truth too loud and they can't contain it. Cannabis is here and we ain't gonna tame it. Yeah, 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 yeah,
You've been listening to the Illusions of Music. The name of the song is Green Tide Rising. And please don't forget, anytime you need some groovy tunes to smoke by, toke by, have a 420 minute by, you can go to timeforhemp.news and download lots of free music by the Illusions of Music. And at timeforhemp.news, there's lots of free audio podcasts, videos you can watch, newsletters, blogs, and everything is focused about ending cannabis prohibition and about how amazing this hemp plant is. Ask that you share us with your friends. Don't forget, we're on Citizen Green TV, and then we're on KZSMLP every Wednesday and Thursday night, 10 p.m. Texas time. And we do ask that you let everybody know that ending cannabis prohibition is a very important thing for the entire human race. There's no reason for anybody sitting behind bars for using a plant, and it's a plant that can be used to make 50,000 different products and create all kinds of great jobs. And that's why I always let everybody around me know how important it is to take time for hemp.
Look at all that money, yeah, the money that they've spent. Take another look and take some time for hemp. Don't cut trees for paper, cause it hurts the environment. Stop deforestation, yeah, it's time for hemp. Well, in an acre of hemp makes 20 barrels of oil. No need for pesticides to poison all our soil. People got no food, they got no clothes, they got no rent. Well, it's time for hemp. Throughout Earth's history, hemp has been used, no mystery. Hemp was legal to pay your taxes for more than a century. Check your faxes, the founding fathers make sense to me. It's time to grow hemp legally. Think of all its uses, it's money that's well spent. But right now, no excuses, it's time for hemp. Sustainable green industry, that's our intent. A better place this world will be. It's time for hemp. Fuel and food and clothes and soap, housing, cars, yeah, cars no joke. Henry Ford built a car of hemp. It's time for us to do it again. People be employed with balanced farming as it's meant. Right now, it's time for hemp. Hemp is a true necessity, a For the wealth and protection of this country, Thomas Jefferson spoke those words. He knew the value of these herds. It's time to lift the hemp ban. Time to make a strong stand. Yes, we can, I know we can. We can make a difference, yes we can. Just like birds of a feather, we can work together and lift the hemp ban. Look at all that money, yeah, the money that they spent. Take another look and take some time for hemp. Don't cut trees for paper, cause it hurts the environment. Stop deforestation, yeah, it's time for hemp.
Walk in love, dance in laughter. You are listening to the Time for Hemp Global Broadcasting Network. Please share us with your friends.